Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sharon. I'll be going over some quick housekeeping items for this Ask the Expert session, and then we will turn it over to our wonderful team. This is Ask the Experts for Digital Breakout 124. It's a conversation continuing on the Discover the Technology Infrastructure Deployment in the Cloud and impactful capabilities of an agile and composable finance and fraud protection solutions. Some quick notes on how to engage with our team. Please use the chat to ask your questions. Our questions will appear to all attendees once they've gone through the moderation process. You can vote for your favorite questions using the thumbs up sign, and we will be answering questions in the chat and verbally. We'll also be sure to put some additional resources in the chat for you to continue to learn more. Some notes on etiquette. We will be recording this session for you to review later on. We ask that you help our moderators. Please do not spam them or post inappropriate comments in the chat. We have posted the Microsoft Code of Conduct for you to review in the chat, and you will see it here on the screen too. Please take a moment to review. As a reminder, since we are recording the session, we ask that you not photograph or video the session on your end. And with that, let's meet our experts.
Yes, let's meet the experts. Thank you everyone for joining our session. I am Shelley Bakke and I will be your moderator today. I am coming to you from Fargo, North Dakota, and my role within the engineering team is looking after our customer partner experiences and programs. With that, I'd like to invite my colleagues who are the experts today for you. Anand, if you're on, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and unmuting yourself and then providing an introduction.
Thank you, Shelley. My name is Anand Oka. I'm the product lead for the Dynamics Fraud Protection product. I'm based here in Redmond, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have at all around fraud protection and its applications to solve your fraud problems. Thank you.
April, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm April Olson. I'm the Group Product Manager for Dynamics 365 Finance. So my team is responsible for the current and future direction of the finance product. And thanks for having us today.
And Kevin.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Kevin Horlock. I'm part of the technical product marketing team within Dynamics 365, based in Redmond.
All right, so with that, just a reminder for everyone on, please join in on the conversation. This is your session, so we want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to ask the experts what's top of mind for you. So use the chat. When you submit your question via the chat window, you will also have an opportunity, as Sharon had mentioned, to give a thumbs up if there's other questions that you like as well, so we can help to prioritize them. So seeing no questions yet in the queue, I'll throw some softballs over to our experts and get them warmed up for you and maybe get you kind of thinking about some topics as well too that are of interest. April, let's start with you. So there's a session available on demand about asset leasing. Can you maybe give the highlights, your top 3, maybe 5 highlights on what you want the community to know about on Wave 2? What are you most excited about that you want to share?
Great, thanks, Shelley. Yes, I would say with finance, in the situations that we've been in the last 8 months with COVID, and even before that, there's been a huge focus on automation. And I don't think we could possibly get to automating finance processes faster, any way faster. And so that has been a big focus on it for us. So couple of the things in addition to asset leasing that will be released in Wave 2 are additional automations around collection strategies. So again, taking that manual effort that people are having to do today, monitoring thousands of customers at a time, looking at multiple different sets of data to try to make decisions. We're actually doing data-driven decisions for them and helping automate those collection tasks. So we're really excited about that. And then another thing in the theme of automation is in vendor invoice automation. So we're releasing kind of the first phase where once you get your invoices in through either electronic submission or OCR, we've added a ton of enhancements and analytics and metrics to make that process very seamless and touchless all the way through posting. So that's another big thing that we've invested in that we're really excited. We have a lot of great feedback on.
That's fantastic. All right, let's kind of stick with this roadmap theme. Anand, on your session that just ended, you did a great job on talking a lot about fraud and the details that we have and showing a lot of great demos. Can you share with the community as well too about the roadmap? You know, what do you feel is really exciting that you want to make sure that the community is aware about that we didn't get a chance to showcase in the session?
Yeah, definitely. I think the two big callouts here are really that just in the last part of wave 1, we had shipped some major updates to our fraud protection solution in terms of covering both account side fraud as well as fraud related to returns and discounts, through anomaly detection. And in fact, one of the questions I see that is just posted is around this, like, can we also help on account side fraud? So I'll definitely take a moment to answer that. But so after those big kind of announcements or big capabilities that we added to the product, wave 2 was all about like improving the experience of the user in terms of onboarding and getting going with the product as early as possible, because it's a fairly broad, I wouldn't say complicated, but fairly broad and multi-featured product, and sometimes users get overwhelmed, in terms of how many different things are there to use. So we have done a lot of work in terms of onboarding. We are adding things like guided tours. We have revamped the user experience in terms of the information architecture and the web page. Our product page has been fully refurbished. We have a new UX for that, and then plus we have added several new capabilities which allow you to basically, in an easy way, get data in and out of the product, quickly. We also have added several improvements which will enable you to consume the insights of fraud protection much better. So in general, I think the theme for Wave 2 has been make it easy to get in the product, consume the insights, and get insights, and maybe export them out also and use them for further analysis. So that has been the theme for this release. And in the upcoming release, we will kind of take this further, but then we usually have this kind of structure where in wave 2, like in the October wave, we do a kind of a release around improving user experiences, and in the wave 1, which is usually the April, we try to do releases around big new product features, new capabilities. So I don't want to spill the beans on that right now here, but you can expect that to happen in the April wave.
Fantastic. So yeah, we do have a couple questions that have come in specifically to fraud. So let's just make sure that we cover off on them. So the first one, does dynamic fraud protection provide safety and protection both merchant as well as customer? And would it protect against compromise of legitimate customer payment profile?
Yes, I think a great question, and the answer to both is yes, very strong yes. So the product is designed in such a way that it's aimed to protect you as the merchant or the business whose online portal, may suffer fraud attacks. So that's obviously the primary goal, but that's not the only goal, in the sense that fraud protection also helps your end customers, who are the consumer shoppers, to be protected too, because after all, by making sure that their accounts don't get compromised, and that ensuring that their instruments and other details are protected, you are ensuring your own reputation as a business, and you're also giving them a stellar experience. So yes, fraud protection is all about protecting you, but that happens only when we protect your end customer. So it goes hand in hand. So the answer to both those questions is yes.
Fantastic. How about e-commerce? So does fraud work only with Dynamics 365 Commerce, or is it available as a standalone product that can be used with any third-party e-commerce solution?
Again, a very great, very nice question. And, it's an important question because many of our customers do ask that. And as Venkat, who is my colleague, he has answered. The answer is that it is not like kind of conditioned on you being a customer of commerce. You can actually may not use any other Dynamics capability, but you can still use fraud protection standalone. And our product can interface with any of your incumbent solutions that you may be using for your commerce system. So yes, obviously you can use it standalone. Having said that, obviously, if these are products from Dynamics Commerce as well as fraud protection. So obviously we have a strong better together story. So if you happen to be using commerce and you want to use fraud protection, then it's a very easy onboarding. You don't have to do any API integration yourself because it's already done under the hood. You just have to basically click through on a couple of places saying, yes, I want to start using DFP and it will get working. So the answer is yes, you can use it standalone, but at the same time, there's a strong better together with commerce, which you definitely want to leverage if you are using commerce.
Perfect. So I think what I heard you say is even I could get it up and running if I'm using it with commerce, which I love that. Okay, fantastic. April, let's go to you for a question. We had announced a while ago Finance Insights, and I know you guys have been working really closely with some customers as far as that preview. Can you share any of the successes that you're seeing with Finance Insights and give the community an update? April, are you still with us? Were you able to get that?
I am
question?
on mute.
Thank you. There we go. Perfect.
So yes, thank you, Shelley. So to give a recap to the group, Finance Insights is our introduction of intelligent cash flow forecasting, where we're really bringing intelligence into finance. And we have a private preview going right now. We have a very healthy pipeline of customers that are currently using it as well as interested, and we've seen some great out-of-the-box success with it. For example, in the first handful of customers that we onboarded, we were immediately, without any changes, able to see about a 40 to a 72 to 80% model accuracy in some of our predictions. So we're really happy with that first time around. In addition to that, we've been getting some great usability feedback as well. So we think, not only are we bringing intelligence to finance, but we're putting as much effort into the experience of the end user, so that they can easily, not even know what's going on behind the scenes and really interact with it and see some good results there. So that's exciting. And then earlier when I mentioned the automation, I had talked about the collection strategy. And the collections as well, when I talked about data-driven automation, the predictions that are going to be happening from Finance Insights will actually also be an input into some of the rules and stuff that the collections will process on to automate some of the capabilities there. So we're really excited to really tie that whole end-to-end scenario with intelligence and automation when we GA Finance Insights.
Awesome. Okay, another question from the community. And as I get prepared, just a reminder for everyone, please use your chat. Ask questions away. The team will be getting softball questions from me as fillers, so you can gain insights into them and their expertise and their opinions. But we want to make sure you guys are getting the most out of this session. So please.
Shelley, I think this question is for you.
It is, yes. I am going to answer this one, yes. But to wrap up on that, please make sure to go ahead and enter your questions in the chat window. So there's a question about access to all the great products that we've talked about. So we've talked about finance. We've talked about fraud. If you guys have been on, listening to other Ignite sessions, there's a lot of great work going on with commerce and project operations and really just the whole entire portfolio. So what is the best way to be able to try this out? So we do have some trials that are available. We have a trials.dynamics.com site that will lead you through some experiences. It is not the full-blown product that is out there as it is compared to some of the other applications. Each application is a little unique, and we're doing work there to make sure that we can streamline that. So there is work happening here. We don't have anything available quite yet and today, but please know that this is a top priority for us that we are working on.
May I add one quick comment on this one?
Yes, please.
As Shelley said, we are definitely working on giving like a community trial of some of the products, to make it easy for you to get a quick understanding. There are a couple of things available today, which, with a couple of steps you will be able to access. One is if you can work with either directly with your account team, the sellers, or if you can work with a partner assigned to you, they do have access to demo environments, at least in the case of fraud protection, I can definitely say that. And they can actually sit with you and walk you through the experience, let you actually use it and try it out. So these are like demo environments available to sellers and partners. That's one. And then just to kind of like address that in terms of trial as a slightly bigger concept, we do offer all our customers a product trial before you actually have to decide whether to buy or not. So you can try before you buy. And you can start that trial by approaching your account team, and it's a free trial. You can use the product just as if you were using in production. Everything that is available in the product for production is available in trial. for a limited amount of time, obviously, and you can actually integrate to the product and actually test it out fully. And if you're satisfied, of course, at that time you can move to a purchase. If not, you can, after the trial, you can just stop and there is no other, you don't have to like pay anything extra or anything like that. So free trial is available. Please get in touch with your account team or partner, as the case may be, to access that.
Perfect. And that was the other question that just came in, and in asking about the trials, it was specific for fraud protection. So you read their mind, Anand. That's fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I should add one more thing, just because I have the opportunity here. We actually offer something called DFP in a day. It's a program that is becoming very successful, where not just that you'll get a trial, but you will view the partner or the seller, as the case may be, will actually walk you through it, so that within 24 hours you'll be at a point where you'll actually be getting useful insights from fraud protection back, especially doing analysis of historical data and getting insights. So please reach out to your sellers, because not just getting the trial, but getting something going can be achieved within 24 hours with this DFP in a day program. And especially for the loss prevention capability of the product, it's actually, you can get the first loss prevention report out literally within hours from starting the trial. So that's something you should definitely check out. Thanks.
Wonderful. And so there's been a couple community posts that have been made available here in our chat window. So just a reminder for people to go to our community.dynamics.com. We always have ongoing conversations out there. And then all of the capabilities that we're talking about today, as well as the future capabilities that we've publicized so far from our Wave 2 release plans, those are all available for you on docs.microsoft.com. So don't forget to go out there and stay up to date on all of the great innovation that the team is doing. One other last plug that I'd like to make would be, if you have product ideas that you'd like to see included or enhanced, or maybe a new innovation that you'd like to see us add, please tell us about that. And the place to do that is ideas.dynamics.com. That is our ideas portal, where it is community-based. You can go out there and vote on ideas that you like. And just like we do here, where your voice matters. And so we do look at the number of votes. We do look at those counts as we are looking and taking in what is going to be coming available in our next update. So please make sure to do that as well. Anand, another question for you about DFP. So what are the extensibility options available?
Oh, this is my favorite question because I have a lot to talk about. So I won't take too much time, but yes, actually one of the things that I'm really proud about, we are really proud about our product, DFP product, is the various kinds of extensibility options it offers. So let me walk you through some of them. You can, there is extensibility in terms of the schema of the data that is sent to the engine for fraud protection. So we have a standard schema, like there's a schema for purchase protection, there's a schema for account events. So these are standardized. This is what we think are the standard attributes that need to be sent to us. But if you think there are certain attributes that are very specific to your business that matter in your decision making, you can send that as custom data, and you can extend our there is a clean extensibility format. You can just extend with any JSON payload you want. So that's very powerful. And then all that schema is consumed, and all the data is actually made available to you in the rule engine for you to write rules on. It's made available in your graph, and then through eventing, you can actually even export it back into like event hubs and things like that. Which leads me to the second kind of extensibility, which is, we have in product reports, detailed reports for account protections, loss prevention, as well as purchase protection. These are like the standard reports that we give to every customer. Now, but of course, many customers will say that we need more detailed reporting. We need more slicing and dicing. We need more visibility. The data is there in your graph in the product, but it's not necessarily shown in the current form of the scorecard. So you may want something more. To help that, what we are doing is that we have this very powerful capability called eventing, where you can essentially, every transaction that comes in for assessment, you can actually send it through eventing to a location of choice, like an event hub. You can even send it to blob storage in the coming, in the near future. And the idea is that you're not just sending the event and its payload, but all the insights that the product has generated about it, the risk score, risk reasons, and so on and so forth, all the device fingerprinting related data that we have collected for you. And then with that data out, you can actually use custom reports on top of that data. You can like slice and dice it and run custom reports, but we don't just leave you to your own devices. We actually give you the templates of those devices, of those reports. For example, Venkat, who is on the call right now, he has some deep reports on loss prevention. Similarly, we have reports on account protection. Also on the purchase side, we have an experience called Score Rule Optimizer, which is much more detailed slice and dice than what you have with the in-product experience. So again, a very strong customization story here. And then the last thing I want to call out is that we have taken this message to heart from our customers that they would like to bring in extra data from other sources, so they will just point us to, hey, get this piece of data from this particular provider to which I have an account. You just need to kind of use my credentials and get it. And then, for example, the ability to call out of the product to call another service, for example, for some kind of assessment or a score, and extend the decision making via those attributes. So definitely those are on our roadmap. We are taking that feedback very seriously. And if you are like, for you, if that kind of extensibility is very important, I would like to really hear from you here at this forum, reach out to us in other ways, and that will really inform our roadmap going forward. Thank you.
Just wanted to add one thing to what Anand just said. In addition to the data egress capability that Anand was talking about, there is also Power Apps that are being built where specific exploration related capabilities are available. So like, for instance, in the case of loss prevention, store managers can access the app on the phone and be able to make decisions on the fly, where they have the ability to see which are all the suspicious staff or terminals that needs special attention, where do they want to, they have the ability to subscribe to alerts and things of that nature. And they can also open cases directly on the app. So it is well integrated into Power Apps. So that's another thing that we are currently lighting up. Just wanted to add to what Anand was saying.
Thanks,
That's wonderful. Yeah, what a great story about the power of the platform there as well, too. So thanks for sharing that, Venkat. Since we have you guys on the hot seat, let's ask another question about DFP. What languages and regions is Dynamics Fraud Protection, since I've been using my Microsoft acronyms of DFP, what regions and languages is Dynamics Fraud Protection available in?
I can take that. So I should answer those questions in two separate forms. So in terms of language support, we support 8 languages today. English, French, and there are 6 other languages. I'll try to enumerate them, but I may make a mistake. So you should just go to the web page and you will see it listed out on our website. So 6 languages in total. In terms of markets where it's available, DFP is really available worldwide. There is no restriction except for a few markets where there are some restrictions due to commerce and compliance kind of rules and regulations. Other than that, it's available worldwide. So you can buy it in any region. And depending on the requirements of language and depending on the requirements of data residency, there are certain markets in which there may be extra considerations to take care of before you can start using it. But in terms of just ability to buy, you're not restricted. Almost in no markets in the world, you can buy it in every market.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, Kevin, let's get a question here for you. So I think of you, Kevin, as one of our resident storytellers. You have the great job of taking all of the work that the team is doing and stitching it all together and helping the customers understand really the value prop of everything that we're building. So when you look at the October release wave or the wave 2 release plans, what in there really stands out to you that is really the most compelling for our customers, especially considering the times that we're in right now with COVID and what have you? What are the areas that, if you had to just pick 2 or 3, that you really wanted to make sure that message landed with the community as far as how the innovation can help them? What would you say that would be?
That's quite an interesting mix, really, because for me as someone that likes to try and bring together the aspects that are, the portfolio of the Dynamics platform, the Power Platform as well. When I look at the release notes and when I think about this event as well, there's been a lot of content and a lot of thinking around the data and how do we leverage that data. And when I kind of put my lens on that has been going through this year of the 2020, it's, we've done a lot of work around how do we help our customers take their data to that next level. And I like the way that we've been able to draw out through some of our capabilities. And April highlighted a great example earlier around, the RPA, the automation aspect of how we can start to take an insight and drive a direct activity. Because when we think about the world that we're in now, a lot of us are stuck at home with our young ones or family members and so forth. And it makes life a little interesting. So we've had to automate and become a lot more innovative around how we can do our roles. So when I think about finance and when I think about some of the tools that we have, that the way we've been able to kind of expand upon the common data service, how we've been able to expand upon the dual rights and the wide capabilities of being able to connect in our Power BI dashboards and drive those sort of insights, I think has really started to help everybody understand, what is important, what isn't important, and drive that particular focus. So for me, if I was thinking of it across the platform, it's the data. The data has been the crux for us, the insights that we're able to start driving with that data. And then there's the great tool sets within finance that we can leverage to kind of create an effective mobile app, whether it be from an expense claim lens perspective or taking a little bit of information from the screen and creating a mobile experience, or even going that a little bit deeper and utilizing the Power App perspective and providing an experience that is focused. I think that's been really powerful tool set for us. That's how I would look at it. I hope that helps.
Awesome. I know I put you on the hot seat with that question, and it's probably a hard one to answer just looking at all the capability that does come out, but I thought you did it very well. Thank you. Okay, we have a few minutes to the end. Let's go to our published questions. It doesn't look like we have any coming in on the chat. So April and Anand, I'm going to ask for each of you to give just a 2-second highlight as far as your, since the April update or the Wave 1 update through the Wave 2 update, what are just 1 or 2 items that you're most proud of that you and the team have delivered? And April, I'll have you go first, and then Anand, you will follow.
All right, great. So I'm going to go back to, enabling the automation and ability to take action with intelligence. I mean, we're getting better and better and better at making sure we just complete end-to-end solutions that really complete full scenarios. And we're doing it by taking advantage of all the great technology that Microsoft has as well. And so I think for showing intelligence in finance and automation, finance has always been kind of we got regulations to follow, accounting rules, and just being able to do this and doing it out of the box, seeing the success, and now seeing all the automation light up on it. I just keep coming back to it's just really enlightening to see the success that our customers are having when they're using it, preview, and giving us the feedback. So I think that's kind of a game changer for finance. I think we'll continue to see that in finance, and it won't be the finance of the early 2000s and the 90s. So yeah, it's very exciting time for accounting.
So maybe your tagline on that is making finance, absolutely fun and just having a fun, great experience with finance, and then especially with Dynamics 365 Finance. So that's even better. So that's wonderful, making those great experiences. So that's fantastic. All right, Anand, you are here to close us up. What are the top 2 items for you?
So definitely the things that really pop to my mind are the 2 aspects. One is the holisticness of our solution. Now, we really cover the end-to-end story of the user journey and all the fraud patterns that can happen across the journey. And we have something in the product to protect against all those things. So account fraud, purchase fraud, post-purchase, reverse logistic related fraud. That's quite awesome. I think in the market, there are not many products like that. And secondly, I'm really kind of proud. We are really proud as a team that we have offered so many extensibility options now. Somebody asked that question earlier as I replied. That's really quite a kind of amazing, where we allow you to extend all the input side schemas, but we also allow you to extend the product itself by taking the data out and doing much more with it than even that we could do for you. So a very open and broad product, which allows you to bring as much data as you want in and then do as much as you can with it and with our insights. And then finally, just one last spiel I'll do is that this is a product that is being used in production today by really big customers, from hundreds of thousands to millions of transactions every day. That scale, that's something that means that they're relying on us for their primary money-making mechanism, right? Like this is the lifeblood of businesses. So it's extremely inspiring, and it's also extremely satisfying to see this happen, because that means that we are winning the trust of the customers. And I'm really looking forward to our ability and our desire to help as many customers as we can, become successful on this journey of digital transformation.
Well, that is a fantastic summary. Thank you guys so much. So thank you very much to our experts. We really appreciate you guys, and also to the community. Thank you guys for joining, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.